centimeter of the ampullary orifice. That is the problem. And that is at one thing at angle. Second thing is that's the narrow part of it. Okay, that makes sense now? That would be maybe like 8 millimeter above this 12. Okay, so you are more concerned here. So that's where like the intrapancreatic portion, like it goes from like 3 millimeter to 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up to where the pancreas ends, it may be 10 millimeter or so. So if you go up to that point, that's the stage. When you start going above that, that's where you're going to cause the perforation. Perforation is not going to be in the viaduct. It's going to be right where the viaduct is ending to the bottom. So you have to be careful.
So you have this, so
yeah,
option would be little tripsy or spyglass, right?
Yeah, option, so what you can do is like, let's see if it's after you dilate it. What I personally do is like, if it's the stone is like, if I've dilated to 12 millimeter, stone is like 12, 13 millimeter, I'll personally use a trapezoid basket. I don't know if that's uploaded. I'll personally, there are two reasons for that. I will grab the stone in the basket and I will try to pull that stone in one piece if possible. I always try to do that, and usually that comes out. The reason I don't want to crush it, if I can bring it in one piece, well and good. If I crush it, I make 10 stones off that. Now I have to go with like a wire, go with a balloon, and try to clean it. There's a lot more junk. It's going to be much more time. If I can take that out in one piece, I'm done. Okay? And other thing is, if you have to crush it, the trapezoid basket, it's a crusher. You can use that. If the stone is too hard, the way the basket is made, if you put too much pressure on that, it breaks, which is good. You won't get stuck in there. If you use a Olympus lithotripter, that does not break. And then you need that handle to break it. And sometimes I have once I broke a handle too. So I have to go back in with the spyglass and break the stone inside the basket so I can remove the basket. So that's
if you're going to use the basket, do not use it if you don't have Sohendra emergency lithotripter.
Because you can get an embarrassing situation.
If you get stuck, it's a very embarrassing situation when your patient a wire is coming out of the mouth and is being rolled into a surgical room. Okay. Trapezoid basket, if you don't know how to get your stone out of the basket, okay, if your stone is in the basket, like Dr. Father said, you're pulling it out and it doesn't come out. Now you want to take the basket out. Trapezoid is fine. It breaks. It has failed once, in my experience, many years. So, but you should know how to take that stone out of that basket. If you're not too comfortable with that, you should not attempt using the basket in large stones. It is very embarrassing.
That is
okay. That's one thing. The other thing I wanted to tell you was, if you, like Khalid was saying, the stone comes out with the basket in one piece. If you've done ERCPs, if you've seen ERCPs, balloon comes out and stone doesn't come out. Balloon is 1.5 centimeter, comes out with little resistance, but you're trying to take a stone which is 1.2 centimeters not coming out, because this balloon is actually pulling the stone indirectly. You're using balloon pressure to pull it out. Okay, whereas when you're using the basket, you're actually bringing the balloon up. But the basket becomes like balloon. So it comes out sometimes very easily or with little resistance. So before you crush, you can try and take it out. The question about large stones, my dear, is that you at this stage should not even think about it. Forget about it. Okay. At this moment in time, you should look at the stone and say, this is too large, I put a stent. Thank you very much. I've done good to my patient. Let Dr. Vakar handle and take the complications. I don't want to take the complications. Okay? Because you need to have all the tools, all the experience. You go into the basket in a big stone, you don't have a good sphincterotomy, which is what happens. Your basket impaction, you make your patient seriously sick, embarrassed yourself, achieved nothing. Putting a stent is a 2-minute job. Stent done. Think about it. Don't do it at the same time. Okay, I've got lithotripsy, I've got all the baskets that I want, I've got everything. I have the experience, I bring the patient back. Very often, if I'm not sure, I just say, okay, yeah, because there is cholangitis, patient is sick, there is no point doing everything in one go. Put a stent, stabilize your patient, especially if they're sick, leave them, bring them back after 2 months or something like that. You've got a stent, patient gets okay. Then you relook and then do it. Please do not attempt anything where you are half equipped.
And around about this large stones and cholangitis, if patient have an active cholangitis and it's a large stone, they have a lot of backup pressure of infected bile. Okay, so if instead of draining, if you're spending more time there trying to take that stone out, you're kind of putting a lot of contrast in there. You're making a high pressure compartment there. You're pushing all that infection into the bloodstream. So most of the time it's better just to put a stent in there, leave them alone, give them antibiotics, let them get better, and bring them back or send it to your colleague, whoever does that, and let them work on that. So you will save patients' life. If you start working on that and you spend another hour and a half, 2 hours working on that infected bile, you're going to push that all into the bloodstream.
So is there any role of also deoxycholic acid in the site of the stone?
I would say zero.
Literally nothing.
I would second it.
Yes,
Okay.
nothing.
So, yeah, it's just a waste of time.
You're
There
treating
have been
yourself.
studies like mixed results, but really
Nothing.
it's zero.
No,
Okay.
nobody
And a
knows.
stent, putting a stent is much better than giving them also deoxycholic acid. Stent, because of moving in and out,
It's
it just
traumatizing it.
traumatizing mechanical damage to the stone, and that makes it softer or breaks it in a few weeks, and then it's easier.
Much softer.
Sometimes you've done a decent sphincterotomy, put a stent. It's surprising how
The stone-
large
the
stones
stone-
sometimes can go through
The
without
stone and the stent both are
both
out.
are out.
Is
The
there
other
any
thing
role of
about
putting
baskets is-
stent in with the large stone?
Now, the purpose is mainly to drainage of that, and putting a multiple stents is not going to.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Why would you put a multiple stent? Why were you thinking?
To dilate CVD to that size?
So how many stents would you have to place? How big is the stent?
3.
3 millimeter.
No, we can put 3 stents.
Okay.
3 stents is how many
Each
millimeters? 9
stent
millimeters.
is,
How big is the stone that you're trying to make? So you have to put about
I think
6 stents or 8
Each time
stents.
you put a foreign
So
body in,
what you're doing is use your common sense. What you're doing is you're blocking the stone completely.
I think whatever you do, always make life simple. The other thing about baskets is, whenever we are using a basket,
So talking with this particular case, you have placed the stent and you are not taking out the stone in order to drain the bile.
pardon?
In order to drain the bile, that was your aim.
No, sorry, I
आपने
didn't.
मतलब से stone का
Can I just finish first, because we interrupted you.
हाँ.
Whenever you are using a basket, always make sure that when you grab the stone, you do not shut the basket completely. Because if you do that, you literally are putting yourself at risk of impacting your basket. If the sphincterotomy is big enough, it will come out. But if not, then your stone is impacted in it. So always leave your basket half closed when you are dragging it out. It is easy to disengage it if you want to disengage it. Don't force it in, right? Okay, so that's right. Sorry, now you can. Yeah.
So yesterday the stone was taken out. In this particular case, you have not taken out the stone.
No, I
but you
took out the
have to
stone.
place
I took the stone out.
took out the
आपकी नजर
सर
नहीं
ने
है सर.
जैसे कहा कि हमने मकसद ये कि बाइट ड्रेन होना चाहिए.
सर आपको नजर नहीं आया. Stone was out long time ago. इस फिल्ट्रोप्लास्टी में अंदर एक जीपी पड़ा होता ना, वो भी निकल आता.
If it has not come out, we can put a drain and the
Yeah.
so infection will come. We can plan it or send it.
If
to
the stone had not been taken,
Then
if you
that
had
was
not
the
taken the
drain.
stone out, you would have put a stent.
Stone out, sir. जी वो किया सर.
That happens. Like yesterday's spyglass patient. Large impacted stone. That's not coming out. There's no point even trying it.
Yes, sir.
So we've gone in, put a stent in, tried to crush it, not complete, come out, put a stent in, go back again after 2 months, try and break it more. see what the result is like. I probably have a go at least once or twice more, and if it doesn't work, then I tell them sorry, thread surgery, I can't do it. Okay. From our unit, referral for stone for surgery is very, very. CBD stone is very rare.
I hardly do one every few years, literally.
Stone.
Because
For surgery.
It's a referral for those.
But most of the time we are
but
able
we
to take it
deal
out.
with as large a stone as you can think of. With the spyglass, we crush anything and everything. That's in the CBD. I've attempted two Meritsis, one partial success, one not. So even Meritsis, if I see, I would first deal with it endoscopically and then send them to surgery. That's what I mean. Our surgeons have absolutely no experience of CBD exploration. They don't get any CBD exploration.